Hey Pisces, welcome to High Priestess Healing Tarot, where you are the High Priestess on this full moon in Aries. Let's see what full moon messages Spirit has for you today. One more. Okay. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Ancestors, Archangel Michael. Please help me in pulling insights for the High Priestess Collective, highest timelines, highest messages for the High Priestess Collective. Show me Pisces energy under this full moon. Well, it's crazy. King of Rods in the Morgan Greer deck. That's fire energy. Sorry if you can hear my neighbors yelling. This is Aries energy. It's big leadership. He's yelling, get out of there. So if you're being called to get out of somewhere, that might be confirmation of like, yeah, take action. And the King of Wands, Aries, Sag, Leo energy, is the energy of taking action based on where you feel the call. And then worrying about like the details later. And that's not a process that like a lot of people love to adopt, but then it is also a way that a lot of other people just like go full force, act first, think later. I think it serves in certain circumstances. And for that energy to come up in this reading, I want to say that act now, think later might actually be serving you in a particular realm or aspect. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. Show me this King of Wands energy as it pertains to Pisces. Wow. Four of Cups. That's a weird combo. Four of Cups, Chariot. The Chariot is fast movement forward, right? It's the Charioteer's in the Chariot. So it's like also car energy. There's like intuitive direction. The Charioteer becomes the Emperor, and it is because of that, like, this person acts on intuition. You know, that's their rise to success, is they follow these small and medium nudges that lead to it like trains them to be able to respond to these bigger leaps of faith that they have to make, and they end up successful. Four of Cups though is like the opposite kind of energy here. Four of Cups is like a little bit of it's like small stakes, day to day. You might not even notice it. That the Four of Cups energy sometimes is the energy of something you might not even notice. Like you could miss it. Not that it's an opportunity that you're going to miss. You're never going to miss an opportunity that's meant for you. This is more like signals or signs, like a small something you could miss, but it looks like you don't. You're looking in the direction of that cup. You see that? Sometimes in the Four of Cups, from Tarot Academy students, past, present, future, the body language of the person on the Four of Cups gives you insight as to where their focus is, but also like how wide their perspective is. So in the traditional, the person is sitting cross-armed, which that body language signifies being closed off, not open, right? And they're looking at the three cups in front of them. They're not looking at the fourth cup that is entering the card. This guy, though, is interesting because he's like immersed in the nature, like almost camouflaged in the nature that he's in with the three cups. And he's looking in the exact direction that the fourth cup comes. This feels like the energy of like getting this nudge. Oh my God, I'm not promoting gambling, but I'm seeing this energy of somebody who's like, I got a ping to bet on this horse. And people are like, that's the runt, and like they don't have a great track record, and then the horse wins and that guy looks brilliant. But if he didn't win, he'd look foolish, right? I'm not saying gamble. I don't gamble, so I don't even know why that's coming up. I barely do slots when I visit casinos. But this feels like somebody's intuitive like instinct. There's like a natural instinct here because he's in nature, kind of like a fox. There's an instinct of knowing something's coming in. So it's like this person goes to their post early. It's like before the thing arrives, this person has arrived at the post that they need to be in in the position they need to be in order to see and receive. And there's victory and success associated with that. Did this already happen to you? You know? Did you act on something in a way that felt like, I'm being called to do this, and then you go and do it, or you're there, and then later on the thing shows up, the confirmation, the opportunity, the person shows up, and now there's momentum? Something's moving because of this? This really feels like when you know, like you're like, I can't explain it, but I got to be at this place. I can't explain it, but I got to show up at this time. I can't explain it, but I have to take this route. That's this energy over here. Can you show me a little bit more? Ooh, devil at the bottom. Interesting, because this actually looks like you've healed. For some of you, there's a very deeply healed connection with honoring your internal guidance system, where you maybe used to get hung up on either overthinking or confusion as to, like, analysis paralysis, where you analyze all the options and routes and the feelings and the intuitive nudges, and maybe you start applying even like logical analysis to your intuition. That's a recipe for like feeling crazy. So 0 out of 10, don't recommend. But it's like sometimes when you like overthink and then you don't take action, right? That's 7 of Cups devil, is like when you actually don't choose one. But Temperance Hangman is like, oh, I know how to look at these things from a higher perspective or a higher understanding of what's in front of me. So maybe even like a deeper understanding of cycles and signs in your life, seasons in your life. Show me that 4 of Cups. This is too many, Spirit. But we love all this energy. Sun, 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, Page of Wands. That does look like you choose or chose. Hold on. Let me ask different. Give me context on this instinctual sensing. Oh my God. It came out again. That's 11 Cups. Show me more on the 7 of Cups. What were you, world? Show me the 7 of Cups. Wow, what the fuck? 10 of Swords. 4 of Pentacles. 4 Master Healer. This 7 of Cups, illusion, confusion, options, dream space, delusion sometimes. 10 of Swords, 7 of Cups and 10 of Swords. That's like a combination that usually is the illusions or delusions we experience as a result of trauma. It's when we're looking at the world through the lens of trauma still. 4 of Pentacles, holding back. All right, I actually feel like, and then King of Swords. Somebody's using their mind. 10 of Cups, beautiful. You know, the healing, I'm reading for a higher collective, higher vibration. 7 of Cups, 10 of Swords, 4 Pentacles is, I still have the awareness that in the past I used to see things through the lens of trauma. I'm holding on to that awareness so that I don't move too hasty. But the thing is, King of Wands, 4 of Cups, it looks like you do this thing anyway. You go towards this. Is this like a place or an event, or there's some sort of action you're called to do or attend because you have that fire? Like there's an spidey sense goes off of like, I got to do this thing. I got to see this place. I got to go to this thing. It doesn't make it doesn't make complete sense right now, but I am being called to do that. 4 of Pentacles, though, looks like there was either a deliberation, or you like maybe held yourself back for a minute to get into a state of equilibrium. King of Swords is like, I'm looking at this from logic, you know? This could just be a very self-aware person. Can you give me more context around this? 7, 10, 4. Oh my God. 7. Are you holding back? Maybe you didn't do it. Maybe I'm reading the tense wrong. 4, 4, 4. Angels are on your side. 4 of Pentacles is like stability, hanging on. You don't have a lot, but you work with what you got. But maybe because you're working with what you got, sanity, intuition, stability, you're hanging on to it more conscientiously. 4 of Pentacles. Oh, this is like you worked really hard for something. Yeah, you worked really hard for something. So there's this hesitancy to rock the boat. The sun, though, is like, there's some fucking clarity here, guys. Or the stakes feel high because if you honor this call to go to this place or this event, or like you feel like if you make certain moves, the universe is going to deliver something to you. Or like, I should say, like you would attract something in, which that is the way, right? That might feel like it's such high stakes because maybe you want something so badly. Sun card is like highest wish fulfillment, right? 444. It does look like you fought really hard for some level of like clarity, connection to the divine, leadership, maybe even momentum if you're in a state of momentum. All the masculine energies are coming out, you know? So there is an energy of protection. The only one we're not seeing is Pentacle. There you are under the King. 8 of Cups, 10 of Wands. Whoa, what is this? 9 of Swords, 6 of Swords, 10 of Wands, 8 of... All three of these cards are like, bye-bye, leaving on a jet plane, you know, of like a pattern or a mindset, an old way of being. Your King of Cups energy is on top of the Queen of Cups, so there's like even protection from within around your emotional energy or your psychic energy. This is so... Show me 5 for Sun. Hangman again. Higher level of perspective. Too many with 7 of Cups again. 7 of Swords. You know, it's weird. We get these weird sets of cryptic cards and then the aces keep showing up on the bottom. If you feel like you are in a place where you're having to lean on intuition a little bit heavier, it feels like different than intuition. It feels like surges of knowing or surges of motivation, surges of inspiration. But there's this stability that wants to be maintained, obviously, of course. If you know, acting on your internal navigation system was muted growing up, if that's something that you've had to like work on acknowledging, you know, in terms of like parts therapy, like letting the parts of us that feel fear, letting them be acknowledged and express themselves, that's here. It's also this energy of like when you're called to do something, like called to become something, called to act away, called to attend something, if that wasn't nurtured and supported, there's like an element where then our internal, it's like autoimmune disease, but on the spiritual sense, on the like self-trust, self-actualization sense. So autoimmune disease is when your body ends up like fighting itself, right? And on the spiritual side of things, they believe that that's like passed down through the maternal line. Spiritual or self-actualization autoimmune symptoms. Also, I'm like making this up as I go in terms of like comparison, but this makes complete sense. Like spiritual or self-trust autoimmune is when like you consistently doubt yourself. But it's really because you weren't assured and affirmed and validated in your formative years. So if like learning how to trust yourself is, I know that's such a biatch of a journey. What that usually means is like you gotta trust the small stuff and act on trusting the small stuff by like taking care of you, affirming yourself, validating yourself. I think that's what this is. Temperance, 7 of Swords, 7 of Cups. It's like when we don't know if we can trust what we're seeing or if it's an illusion or delusion. I've had both. I've had like instances where I've been like, wow, I'm so glad I trusted that small sign I saw, that small ping I got. I'm so glad I trusted it. And then there's like other things I walked into and like immerse myself in, where I was like, all right, this was a lesson. This was a lesson more than like an experience that was gonna add to my life. You know, I mean, it like added wisdom, but like through the hard way. And if you go through that, that's also okay. That's okay, Pisces. Hangman, show me the sun. How does this pertain? Yeah, it just keeps, I'm going to get a different deck now, but because I feel like the cards are sort of spinning. Ace of Wands. There is a call here. There is a call here to like step out. Three of Wands is stepping out. It's like you've left the familiarity of the Two of Wands, the familiarity of the home, safe space, comfort zone. And you're not yet on the ship that you need to be on to go somewhere, but you are approaching the harbor. So weird. Can you show me advice for Pisces on this side? You know, the Seven of Cups coming up that many times. I do think this has to do with self-trust. What did I ask? What advice for Pisces? Wheel of Fortune. Nine of Wands. Nine of Pentacles. Part of this feels like, okay, this is Divine Path, 9-9. You got the same card in the last reading I did with the Beetlejuice deck, Wheel of Fortune. This kind of feels like you coming into awareness that you draw the doors of change and opportunity into your 3D life. And that could feel scary for people. That could feel scary if you've never been given that sense of empowerment before. Wow, you have the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck too. Wow, Queen of Swords. Two of Cups. Nine of Wands, drawing that door. Five of Cups. That means an old way of life, an old way of being is going to be like non-existent anymore. It's not here anymore. Eight of Swords. Holy shit. Five of Cups, Eight of Swords is like bye-bye limitation of the mind. Do you ever feel like nervousness or fear in trusting your own power? Like, you know, the concept of like giving people the benefit of the doubt. Something we talked about in the community months and months ago. I think High Priestess Kimberly said this. It's like you gave so many years giving people outside of you the benefit of the doubt, but then like that's not always the best case if you have like a spidey sense about something, right? This feels like the energy of, what if I give myself the benefit of the doubt? Like, what if I just trust what I'm sensing? What if I just trust myself to draw this door and make this opportunity? What if I trust myself to draw this change into my life? I'm saying draw, and I mean like sketching it, creating it. But it can also, you know, I talked about gambling before, draw, like luck of the draw. Is there there feels like a shift in, like, what is the word, Spirit? Help me out here. Luck of the draw is like, oh, it's completely up to the universe. It's like a shift here where there's a realization of it's not completely up to the universe. It's actually a lot more, I actually have a lot more influence over what occurs. Not everything, obviously, but this is the energy of coming into awareness that you have more influence over your life than previously believed. And that can feel fucking nuts to the ego. Can I get one more? Three of Pentacles. That's like creating and building with the universe. So it's not like fully letting the universe do all the work. It's not excessively pushing and forcing, right? It's like, honoring the calls and the nudges and acting on those things, prioritizing those actions. And like essentially by doing that, you draw doors of opportunities where there were once brick walls. There are now doors of opportunity. Hangman again. So it's like a different kind of surrender. This is surrendering to the sign, surrendering to the action. That's tough too. That's like when you get called to do something, to create something, to act on something. And your insides would feel way more comfortable if you didn't have to do it. If you didn't do it, if you didn't have to go, even if it's exciting. Like sometimes I go to improv workshops. I try to go like once a week. It's so fun for me. And like more often than not, right before the call, my mind is like, what if we just don't? Like, what if we just watch DCC on Netflix, you know? And it's like, no, that's ego, just wants to be comfortable and familiar. I know I'm going to feel so good when I go to this class, even if I'm nervous, even if I don't make anyone laugh, but like I'll still feel good that I went. That's surrendering to the call. That's surrendering to action. It's not like hands up surrender, I'm not going to do anything, you know? And this guy in the movie, he like glides through, like he's connected to the ceiling. So he just kind of like glides in and out of the rooms. So there's like a fluidity and ease of movement when we do this. But this is like, an old limiting belief around like what is in your control and what's not is being shaken up and dissolved, you know, this like rattlesnake, something getting rattled out of you. So even when, especially I'm going to say when we have like evolutions and ascensions, a lot of times the ego gets rattled and it will try to convince you that it's not a good thing. I think we see that a lot in romantic dynamics when people have the realization like I think I'm being called to end this relationship. It's come to the end of the road for me. Like I'm being called to do that. And then they go to do it and they have second thoughts, like doubt. And that's really just the ego trying to keep you familiar. Okay. I feel like this feels a lot clearer. This is you like working with the universe to literally draw doors where there were once brick walls. And 9 of Pentacles, we didn't even go into that, but that's independently achieved success. It's like being very fruitful. It's having peace of mind and spirit, peace of finances. It's like really the biggest pentacle card aside from that 10 that was at the bottom. Anything else with this journey over here? Drawing doors where there were once brick walls. Yes, Wheel of Fortune twice. So there is a judgment call over here of like, and maybe you already did this, but this judgment call allows you to draw opportunity where there was once blocks. And it's like, oh, the block looked like a brick wall, but it was actually my mind. So there's also could be an energy of you once, let's say what you're becoming. This King of Wands energy also looks like a very solution-oriented figure. Oh my God, 4 of Cups, yeah. Solution-oriented figure. Where like, you ever meet somebody where like they got a fucking problem for every solution? Or like, it's a, but what if this, but what if this, but what if this? And it's like, hey, what if we try and we solve the problem as it comes up? It's okay to have a plan. But if you're going to plan for the worst, maybe also then to balance yourself out, have a plan for the best too, you know? Anything else with this Wheel of Fortune? Creating opportunity. 2 of Cups in reverse. Why in reverse? I was just talking about lighthouses last night with my stepfather. Ooh. Whoa. Talk about creating. 9 of Pentacles, Empress. That's an evolution in creation energy. Wow. And there's the Emperor. Aries energy on the full moon. So disconnecting from one form of union or one way in which your soul and humanness were interacting. I feel like it's more probably that more than anything. This feels very internal. And there's an elevation or rise of your ownership in creation power. So if you've also been like affirming and trying to reprogram your belief system as it pertains to creating reality, this is an evolution of that. looks like a beautiful ascension. 9 of Pentacles to the Empress. There's some sort of like tangible result you're going to experience in your 3D life where you're like, wow, I really did make this happen. And it really was because I had to move through or shatter a limiting belief. And that pentacle proof looks like it catapults you into this more soulful archetype of the Empress of like, oh yeah, this is just who I am. That was not a crapshoot. Is that a gambling term too? It's not a crapshoot. This wasn't a luck of the draw. This was, I drew this opportunity. Maybe drawing it into you, like pulling it into you. Wow, there's so many plays on words with the word draw, right? Because like, that's also something you put your clothes in. Well, that's how I say it. You put your clothes in the drawer. Your forks and knives are in the top drawer. Drawing a door where there was once a brick wall. Yeah, it's like something that comes out where it was once contained. It's like, oh, there's more here. There's more here. This is like very much a mental. This is a mental over here. Okay, let's go into the Chariot. Success and victory we like. Foofy woofy, if you haven't already, please smash that love button. Thank you so much for being here, Pisces. Show me the Chariot energy. Movement forward, success and victory, balance of the light and the shadow, acting on intuition. There's dragon spirit present here. Knight of Rods. This is the action. Wow, Knight of Swords. Love this because the tower's in the background here. Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. Those were the same, that was the same combo that came out in the Beetlejuice deck, the last reading I did. It was the Knight of Wands was the sand snake that had 2 faces. Like one vicious one came out of the big one. And then the Knight of Swords had the sword spiking out of its chest. And I was like, oh, this is your aura. This is your energy, right? Knight of Rods, Knight of Swords, and the Fool. Love this. Victory and success in the way that you choose to act now. Acting on fire and logic together. There's Tower energy here and the Fool. So it's like some sort of deconstruct to reconstruct. Break up to make up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not promoting that. Hey girl, look at you, beauty. 6 of Swords, Queen of Swords. That's trusting oneself to make moves in the direction that your divine feminine energy is giving you, but it's applying logic and preparation and planning to it so that you're is really nice, like working with the ego instead of against it. Show me a little bit more in that tower in the background of the Knight of Swords, 8 of Cups. It's a lot of movement. Little Red Riding Hood, right? I think the wolf, I'm just using the fairy tale because it came out like Little Red Riding Hood here. The wolf is really inside the self here. I don't think there's a big bad wolf outside of you. The wolf in that fairy tale, if you really go back to Grimm's, like their original, it's a little darker. But let's just say that the wolf in the Little Red Riding Hood represents deceit. I think the energy of deceit we've been touching on here is like when we're unsure if we can trust what we're sensing, and that is a result of trauma, a result of experiencing lack of trust in others. And the only way to really heal that is to begin practicing trust in self. So that also means sometimes like making decisions and being like, ah, shit, that wasn't it. And just like forgiving yourself, accepting yourself, being like, that's okay, we're learning. It's okay that we're learning right now. And we're okay to forgive ourselves right now. We can like repair with ourselves. Death. I'm getting a different deck. Yeah, 6 of Swords. I'm getting a different deck because I'm like, where is this going? It does seem lighter, and it does look like this is where you are being called. If you're like being called to take a certain action, there's this whole like deconstruct to reconstruct the brain to trust itself to do this. And this can be an energetic direction, right? Like, I'm not saying you need to move your body. This energetic direction may literally just be like trusting yourself more, but it means acting on that. Ooh, another ace, Ace of Swords. Can you show me the self-trust? Nine of Swords. High Priestess. Whoa. Nine of Swords, High Priestess, King of Wands, and the Hierophant. Whoa. If you have not dropped, and I am the High Priestess, drop that ish below. This is the first card I ever saw in this deck. I saw it in 2022 from somebody I met through a psychedelic peer support community. So Nine of Swords is anxiety. It's also like PTSD energy, CPTSD energy. This particularly could have been CPTSD, PTSD that's rooted in people not affirming, assuring, and validating you to trust yourself in formative years. High Priestess, though, is like you have a highly intuitive gift. You have a highly intuitive sense, you know? Your sensors, your antennas. I love the antenna analogy lately. King of Wands is like how we started this off. Of like, there's an intuitive action that High Priestess energy is communicating to your King of Wands archetype. Like, hey, I think you should take this action. Hierophant, maybe it does feel high stakes. Maybe there's like a high stakes decision you're making. That's okay, though. If you've been making smaller and medium-sized intuitive decisions, that's all been prep work to make a bigger, you know, Hierophant is higher level of commitment. So it looks like the action that you're like in deliberation around or evaluating, it's healthy. This deliberation seems healthy because there's a recognition that there's something higher on the line. And it also means, like, in the 3D, it looks like there's something higher on the line, higher stakes, or like recognizing this is going to be a bigger responsibility, or this is going to require more of me, which is, when you get there, that's beautiful, Pisces. You can have a soft life and also be assigned responsibilities. Both of those things can coexist. It will require your surrender to what is required for that to take place. You know, that hangman energy. The other thing is, when a part of the ego has to surrender to intuition and new behaviors, like when your consciousness creates new neural pathways, your subconscious might be like, no, don't, you know, it's such a strong system. But if this happens, then there's also a recognition of something bigger than you. But like, I know you believe in something bigger than you, but it's like, will you believe in that thing that's bigger than you when you realize that call is coming from inside the house? Two of Cups. See, this is a deconstruct to reconstruct. This is like when, okay, I want to be sensitive, but this is very real. When people believe that God, the universe, the powers live outside of the human experience, outside of the human itself, guised as humility, I think that humility is actually shadow. I don't actually think it's humility. I'm not saying like we need to walk around like, hey, I am God. But there is a recognition of like when you start embodying the frequency of creator, drawing doors of opportunities where there was once brick walls, and receiving pentacle proof that it works, that humility will actually come natural. That'll like bring you to your knees. I think that's like the miracle of childbirth. Like a lot of people are like, I'm brought to my knees by the miracle of what the body is able to do. I am brought to my knees witnessing what this woman was able to do with her body. And it's all so smart. The body's so smart. Like even new mothers, their body will adjust the breast milk according to the nutrients that the baby needs. And that's all through biological sensors built in to us. You can't like consciously be like, okay, the kid needs more magnesium. Let's hit the magnesium fountain in this soda machine. Your body is just doing it. So there's something about like being aware that there's something bigger beyond your consciousness. But if you like work with the energy, with the employ the consciousness, there's a higher level commitment, responsibility, maybe a departure, a deconstruction to reconstruct something much more aligned and much more higher vibrational, according to like this identity that you are either stepping into or building. Yeah, this is really, I'm into this. Not easy, actually kind of feels exhausting. It felt exhausting to read that, but let's do this. This identity, deconstruct to reconstruct for Pisces. Words of advice and encouragement. King of Swords, bring your brain with you. Bring your brain with you. Wow. This, you know what I heard when this card came out? It worked before. So maybe this isn't your first rodeo. It worked before. Was that the moon? Yeah. Hey, girl. One more. King of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Thank you. Wow. King and Queen of Swords. We got the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain working together, baby. Something worked before. So I do feel like this is a trust yourself, moving in the direction, yeah, of your intuition, of your heart. This is fascinating. This is fascinating, Pisces. You are creating opportunity for yourself here the more you act on these things. And it's okay to experience this, like, can I trust myself energy? But it looks like the more you use this superpower, the more committed you become to using this superpower, which like levels you up. We have Empress and Emperor on the table. That is a wildly powerful counterpart dynamic of feminine and masculine energy within. And the full moon is in Aries, which is Emperor energy. It's all about your first house energy getting like maybe shaken up or adjusted or ascended. So whatever your rising sign is, whatever energy is in that first house, especially if it's Libra, especially if it's Aries, especially if it's Gemini, Aquarius. Big fire energy, Aries, Sag, Leo, Cancer, Taurus. I mean, we got almost everybody out here. But this is like, you know, your rising sign energy it's how others perceive you in the world. It's the energy that you come across. But I think with this full moon, it's more so how you interact with your self-concept and employing your rising sign as utility, as tool to get shit done that you need to get to get the shit done that you want to get done. It's like using that as your move me forward energy. I like this. I like it because it is hero's journey. You know, it's when someone rises up, they do something hard. And heavy reminder, like, I think I said this on the Soul Sister podcast, like, surrounding yourself with people who value this will make you feel more supported when you're doing it too, you know. Go after the things that you love and that you're called to do, and surround yourself with people who support that and also value that for themselves, you know? And the Seven of Pentacles cannot, like, it was so clear. You've done this before. I've done this before. Or no, it worked before. It worked before. And there's solutions to every problem, right? Solutions to every obstacle. Today I thought I was going to have to get a new fucking refrigerator. Guess what? It was just unplugged. I was like, oop, okay. It's not always as big as we think it is, you know? Okay. Pisces, smash that love button. Ooh, a little Ace of Pentacles popped out. Maybe this is like a little bribe, a little treat. Oh, and now Miss Neptune is joining. Pisces, please hold my hands. Allow me to send you Reiki love and light. Thank you for being here. Oh. Take a gentle inhale through your nose. and a soft release out through the mouth. Savoring your peace at the bottom. And if you haven't already, drop it below, baby. I am the High Priestess. I trust my intuition. Yes, baby. I'll see you later.